But first, the Pentagon says it successfully launched retaliatory strikes against Iranian-backed militia groups in Iraq. This comes in response to a drone attack on a military base in northern Iraq that wounded 3 U.S. service members. The strikes hit 3 sites and likely killed a number of militants, according to U.S. Central Command. CBS News national security correspondent David Martin joins us now from the Pentagon. David, good to see you. What more can you tell us about these retaliatory strikes and about the targets?
Well, last night's strike was a direct retaliation, as you said, for that drone attack earlier in the day, which injured 3 American servicemen and one of them critically. There have been more than 100 attacks against U.S. troop locations in Iraq and Syria since the start of the war between Israel and Hamas. But until yesterday, there had been no serious injuries. So last night, when one of these or yesterday morning, when one of these Iranian-backed militias launched this drone attack and actually critically injured 1 American service member, they crossed a red line. And from that moment, it took less than 13 hours for the U.S. to conduct that strike, getting approval from the president and having all of the video conference calls that go with a decision like that. They hit 3 locations inside Iraq. They think, the military think, they killed 1 or 2 militia members and wounded perhaps more than a dozen others.
Right. 100 attacks crossing a red line. Now, Baghdad is denouncing the U.S. strikes. They've called the move, quote, hostile and unacceptable. So what's significant about Iraq taking that kind of public stance?
Well, first place, no country likes to have its own territory bombed. It's a gross violation of their sovereignty. But in Iraq's case, they have to be extremely wary of their relationship with Iran. Iran supports and funds and trains and advises these militias inside Iraq, and therefore is in a position to wield considerable power. So the Iraqi government has to be very careful about not alienating Iran, and they have taken basically a live and let live approach to dealing with these Iranian-backed militias on its territory. So when one of them is attacked, both because its sovereignty has been violated and because these militias are backed by Iran, it has to condemn these attacks publicly. And the U.S. always comes back and says essentially the same thing. Sorry, but we've got to protect our troops.
And it's all about the escalation. And let's turn to another piece here, David, the Red Sea. Has the Pentagon said how it plans to address the escalating aggression from the Yemeni-based Houthis?
Well, the public plan is to put together this international task force that would patrol the Red Sea and once again make it safe for commercial shipping to use the Red Sea as it goes to and from the Suez Canal. A number of the major shipping and oil companies had told their captains that the Red Sea was too dangerous to stay away, take the long way around Africa, which adds about 2 weeks to the journey. It remains to be seen whether any of these companies will now tell their ships that it is safe to use the Red Sea once that this international patrol system is working. A few of them have already said that they are considering doing that. But there's one very obvious way of putting an end to these attacks. These attacks are made possible by an Iranian spy ship that is located in the Red Sea and gives the Houthis real-time intelligence on the presence and location of commercial ships passing through. And without that ship passing that real-time intelligence, the Houthis would not be able to launch these attacks. It would be very easy for the United States to disable or to sink that spy ship. But that would be a major escalation, and it would violate President Biden's rule about now not letting this war between Israel and Hamas spiral into a wider war.
All right. Lots of perspective there. David Martin, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Sure thing.